to at least listen to other people.
Interesting. All right.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you for calling, Ubong. So police collects, NEPA too collects. Well, in this part of the world, or the country rather, they're called PHED. I know someone must have rolled their eyes. I beg you, it's NEPA. When Nigerians will actually start calling these guys, the discos, by their name, whatever it is they're called in any area they cover, whether BEDC, EEDC, PHED. Some people don't remember that. They just know it's NEPA. Okay, overzealousness, that's what we're talking about. Remember to head on to Facebook and drop a comment there. I'd like to hear from you. So tell me, what is your view on the subjects that we're discussing, right? You could also give me examples. And then coming to public servants, this person has reminded me of PHED officials. They are also public servants, right? How do you curb? How do we help them to stop being overzealous? Some of them, not all of them. There are those ones who they just do their job. And then sometimes I feel there's a confusion. Yeah, there's a confusion. Some people find it hard to differentiate between being principled and being overzealous. So we've been told to ensure that everybody who comes in here stays on a straight line. They should join the queue. That's what we've been told to do, right? And so we stand by the side and we're directing everybody to, go this way and join the line properly. But for whatever reason, someone decides that just standing there and pointing and actually standing there and directing people to join the queue, please. It's I beg, no time. As somebody is coming in, hey, better join the queue. Don't jump queue here. And then for whatever reason, someone decides to, maybe they saw someone they know in the line and they just want to go greet the person. As they are moving out of the line, you go and grab the person. Slap whatever is happening in their mind at that time. Slap it out of their brain. Hit the person, beat the person up, while you're shouting and reminding them of your authority. And if someone wants to wade into that, you let them know that you are there enforcing this rule, this law. You're there to enforce order. People have been told to stand in the queue, and this person is leaving the queue and coming this way. Why? Are you supposed to do that? And I'm telling this person to go back. You did not calmly tell the person to go back. You did not at least listen to why the person left the queue or is jumping the queue or is leaving the queue to walk towards another part of this queue. You don't know why the person is walking towards this other person. You've not found out. But you want to show that you are there. So sometimes we actually misinterpret overzealousness for being disciplined. You're a disciplinarian. You're principled. This is what it is, and we must see it through, regardless of how anybody feels. No time. Overzealousness. So in the case of task force officials, I didn't really follow this particular story that much. Let me see if I can just find the particular story so I can just read. This happened on Monday, right? It was a Monday that, I have the story here. Commercial drivers along the Rumokoro axis of Port Harcourt have set up a committee to look into the death of their colleague, allegedly beaten to death by a task force official over the weekend at Rumokoro axis in Obiakpo local government area. All right. So some of the taxi drivers who spoke with our correspondent said the council authority encouraged them to set up the committee to resolve the problem. So are we supposed to see in a sentence task force official and beat? I don't know if that's part of what they're supposed to do. Beat people. So whether the person dies or not, it's not really what I'm focusing on right now. But my focus is on the beating. It's part of their job. Beating people. So to ensure that drivers do not park indiscriminately, to ensure that street trading is discouraged, to enforce that, should we deploy beating people as a means to discouraging street trading, indiscriminate parking, illegal motor parks, and every other thing that the task force has been set up to do? Beating people. Is that part of it? Overzealousness. 070-0923-0923. 070-0923-0923. And then for messages on WhatsApp, you can send them to 0809-030-6416. This person says, hello, Niger Info. This is not Niger Info. This is Nigeria Info. Don't get it twisted, darling. Derek Okemzi. Oh, she says, please tell Susan Oge or Hanu, my colleague at work, that I love her so much. You will not go and tell her you are sending me a message. All right. But he says, I've crushed on her for 2 years now, but I'm scared to tell her because I feel it would lead us to a meaningful relationship because she's older than me. And he says, I love you, Oge, and I mean every fiber of these words. Ooh, interesting. All right, in case you're wondering why I'm reading that message, well, I'll tell you. I also asked you to send a message, all right, and let me know who the woman crush in your life is for today. Okay, so I'm going to leave those ones, but keep those messages coming. I'll read them later on. So let's talk about overzealousness. I have someone on the line, but it's taking a while to bring your name up. Oh, okay. Your name is Prince. Prince is calling from Iwofe. Hello, Prince. Hi, Prince.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Go on, please.
Concerning task force issue. Hello?
I'm listening. Is that about to happen? Oh, that happened. All right, Prince. Prince, please do well to call back. Overzealousness, being too zealous, too enthusiastic or fervent, like carrying a job or task on your head as if you are the best, aimed at impressing the boss and intimidating others. Looking at the case study, truth is that this is not the first time this kind of incident is happening, and it's as a result of overzealousness. It's not bad, but I think the don't do precautionary training be given to those handling this duty. Oh, good John Ofima from LMA. All right. So I'm also asking that you tell me what can be done to curb overzealousness amongst the public servants. And he says they should have a training, and the training is about things they should not do. All right. That's good. Thank you very much. Good, John. So what else do you think can be done or can be employed to curb overzealousness amongst public servants? All right, remember to head on to Facebook and drop a comment there. Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. And then you can tweet at Nigeria Info PH. All right. All right, for whatever reason, Facebook just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling. I'm not seeing the messages yet. Well, let me read another one I see here. Good afternoon, Constance. I think overzealousness is synonymous to extremism. To me, any act or tradition that negates humanity or can cause harm to humans should be avoided, because all laws are for humans, not humans for the law. And overzealousness is abuse, because zealousness is enough if used properly. Thank you, from Michael. All right, Michael, thank you. Melody from Uniport says someone committed murder out of overzealousness, and we are trailing the narrative of setting up committee instead of talking about his arrest. There should be decorum in anything we do. That's why. All right. Melody, thank you for your message. All right, so I have commercials coming up right now, and when I return, I'm still taking your messages. All right, so just keep them coming. I'll be right back. Our case study is the recent killing or death of a taxi driver in Port Harcourt after he was allegedly beaten by a task force official. And so I ask, what can we do, really, to curb overzealousness amongst public servants? All right? And I'm also asking you, is overzealousness bad? Is it bad? So I've looked at what it means to be overzealous, right? It means to be too zealous, too enthusiastic, too say it is overdoing things. All right. So on Facebook, what measures should be taken to curb overzealousness amongst public servants? And Caleb Monday Russell says accountability, zero immunity, and prosecution if found guilty. All right. Ikechi Ekpemado says set standards. What standards? Who should be setting the standards? Who should be setting the standards that you mentioned? And what should be the standards? That's another question now. But it's just for you, though, because of your response. What's your name again? Let me see. Ikechi Ekpemadu. All right. I have the news coming up. Trending stories. So I'll take calls after the news, and then I'll read the messages I see here on WhatsApp. So keep those messages coming. What's your take? What can be done to curb overzealousness amongst public servants? We have stories. If it's not the police, some other person has called in to say PHED officials. So they are also on that list. And so many other people on that list, or should I say so many other groups on that list. What can be done to curb overzealousness amongst public servants? Even in the private sector, we have them. You're serving the public, but you're overdoing it. I'll be back after the news. Do stay tuned. We are discussing overzealousness. It's the sunny side on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Good afternoon. How are you doing? Is it sunny or cloudy where you are? I'm in the studio, so I'm just looking at the weather forecast. I can't see what's happening outside unless I actually step outside the studio, you know. So back to the conversation on overzealousness, all right? Public servants, the police, task force officials, PHED officials. Although PHED, well, they're still public servants, please. Yeah, they are. People still call them NEPA officials, NEPA people. So they have a duty, and they're there to carry out their responsibility in any of the sectors where they are operating from. So they work for the government, they work for the people. And so you would think that someone who is working for the people and who is also part of the citizenry. I mean, public servants are not expatriates. No. There are also people who are within the same municipality. Oh, I wanted to use something lower. Region, area. Yeah, better. They live there. In fact, some of them, if not most of them, where they work, they were born, brought up, bred, buttered, everything. They went to school in that area. The people they call friends, they are most times childhood friends. So they are familiar with the terrain. So you would expect that when someone is working in that kind of scenario, that they would allow the human in them to do the work and not allow something else to take over them. Now, I must also let you know that there's something about power. They say power corrupts. So I have been empowered to go out there and ensure that taxi drivers or anybody who is driving a vehicle does not park their vehicle indiscriminately or stop at anywhere at any point in time to pick a passenger, constituting nuisance in the society. I've been empowered to ensure that this city is not just beautiful, but that the environment is orderly. People do not carry their wares and put it anywhere and say they are selling something. And then every street now becomes a market because, we are encouraging small, medium-scale businesses. We're encouraging that people should be hardworking, people should do something. But we also are not encouraging disorderliness. But now, we've empowered some people to ensure that they get people to stay off where they are not supposed to be in terms of selling their wares. So yeah, we go out there with the power that has been vested in us to ensure that there is orderliness in the society. And then we're telling people, move your things, and they're not moving their things. Maybe they move them and they when we come back, when we leave, they come back, they just keep doing that, defacing the city. Yeah, because that's what people actually do. Task force is coming, task force, they are here. And then, people will move their wares from here to there, go and hide in maybe shops. And then by the time they've left, you come back. A luta continua. So in order to let them know that, hey, the government is paying us to actually do this and we're doing it for the good of everybody. All right. And you guys should also stop taking us for granted. Like what's all this? So when we're coming the next time, we carry very heavy sticks. Come with everybody will take dressing. All of you will behave well. Is that part of what we've been told to do? Where we were told to ensure that people stop selling in the streets. So how else will you do it? You're dealing with human beings. Human beings, they can be hard. Really. Human beings. Adults. Jehovah. I mean, you're talking people who are grown-ups, who have their will, who have their desires, we're also talking about people who have family to feed. So if you pursue me from here, what else will I do? And so we come with sticks the next time so that we can push all of you out of the road. If the stick lands on your head, that's your business. In fact, when we even catch you on top of the stick that has landed on your head, you will even be... It will be better for you that it's just the stick that we hit your head and then you run away. Don't let us catch you. All right? So in enforcing this law, this rule, we go overboard. Because the people that we're trying to also bring to order, they're also not helping matters. But then I've also heard of task force officials who someone's car breaks down on the road. You know that thing when so sometimes you might say, oh, I've serviced this car, everything is working, and you turn on your ignition and you step out, and the next thing the car decides that it's not moving. There might be just some little fault somewhere that maybe you've been ignoring or just came up that morning or that minute. So, and while you're still trying to get your car to start, perhaps in the middle of the road, you've not even thought about coming down to ensure that maybe someone helps you push the car off the road or put a sign to indicate that your car is bad, right? And then sometimes you also find out that some drivers actually turn on their hazard lights because they're trying to get this car to work. But someone is too quick because they know that if they catch you, money will come out. At least I beg, you drop something. So they're not even seeing hazard lights. Like, who help? Is your car on the road or not on the road? We're talking hazard lights. That's what we're doing here. Overzealousness. You forget that you could have a conversation. I mean, I feel, right, that part of what they could also do is help people whose cars just broke down on the road. Help the person get the car off the road. Help control traffic to ensure that oncoming vehicles do not ram into that one. Stuff like that. But I barely see that. Well, if you've seen them doing that, that's good and fine. I'm just talking about what I've seen so far. So because task force officials are my case study, that's why I'm talking about them, right? They're not the only ones. And with the, I'm seeing a message here. I'm seeing bank. Bank. All right. So let's see. Are there overzealous bankers? What have you witnessed with them anyway? I've not really been to the bank for a while now. Yeah, when I see the crowds, I've just told myself nothing will carry me to bank for now. It is well. All right. So overzealousness amongst public servants, that is part of what we're discussing. But we're talking overzealousness in general. What is your view on overzealousness? Is it bad? Do you think it's bad? I give an example of a firefighter who ran into a burning building and saved people. It was dangerous. In fact, his superior was of the opinion that nobody goes into that building. Stay outside and use the hose and, pour the water. Don't get into the building. The fire is too much. But this overzealous worker who cannot stand and imagine that the cry he's hearing from inside is going to die down and they will bring out remains of people, had to run into the fire and pull them out. Overzealousness. And while we might frown at someone going that far, to show that he's committed to this job of saving lives and all that, lives have been saved. That man was also overzealous. And then the task force official who resorted to beating a driver who was maybe being stubborn is also being overzealous. So how do we stop public servants? How do we help them to curb overzealousness, to calm down the passion to show that you've been empowered to do something, the passion to show working? Just step it down a little. How do we do that? All right, someone before now sent a message and said there should be trainings for them. Trainings that are centered on things they should not be doing. All right. And then this person says, beating anybody isn't the part of any security officers. It's just because the archaic individuals or public office holders are the ones still in power and no justice for the just. When you say archaic individuals, what do you mean by archaic? I need examples of what you mean by that. You say they keep on doing the same thing every time and expect different results. That's insanity. Until the citizens keep on fighting with the use of our PVCs and removing them one after the other, there will be no change. Interesting. Famous Felicius. And she says, or he says, we need justice. Criminals need to be punished. Okay, so punishments. What should punishments be? Students' union turning political is a departure from the usual norms of the body. It is ethically unacceptable and a deviation from the real essence of forming the group in our universities. Oh, interesting. Do you think that's being overzealous? They're being overzealous by turning political. Could you please help me understand what you are talking about, all right? Just shed more light. And also include your name. There's no name on this message. Thank you very much. Carly says, aside relevant training, there should be rules of engagement and consequences for breach. Oh, well. Sometimes these things actually exist. But the question is, are these consequences really brought to the fore when the time comes? So someone breaches or someone disregards the rule of engagement, and for whatever reason the consequences are not also brought up because they work with their colleagues who will cover up for them, who would come and even swear that he never lifted a finger on that person. He did not beat him. They were just talking. The man just fell. Don't know what was happening. In fact, the man even pushed him first. It was when he was now dodging. That was when his hand now touched the man's face. The man now fell. He did not beat him. So he has people who are working with him who are his colleagues. So anything can come up. All right. Okay. These task force personnel went to the same school with... Okay, he said he went to the same school with Agbero. From Ocho passenger, they graduate to Agbero and then driver. All they know are found languages. And you mentioned them here. I'm not going to read that. He said they are just a class of irresponsible persons. Oh, well. When you talk like that, you're generalizing, right? I don't want to believe they're all irresponsible. They all cannot be irresponsible. No, it's not possible. It's not possible that they are all irresponsible. But then you say leave the regulation of wrong parking and street trading with unions and not these boys. Oh, wow. Sapi from Choba. All right, Sapi, thank you very much. So this person now, what's your name? No name. Come on. If you want to be anonymous, just state it in your message. Okay? But at least let me have something. Let me have a name. All right, but you say in a bank one day, I was on the queue to make deposits and a teller who's a church member cited me, beckoned on me to come forward to be attended to, but I nodded in the negative. You couldn't have nodded. You shook your head. Anyway, but you say he left his seat to the queue and insisted I come forward, saying he needed customers with cash because he needed to pay a customer who was waiting, and it was only then I asked other customers in front of me if anyone was depositing. When there was none, I had to go forward, thereby shortening the line. All right. So I've read this message now and I'm trying to find out the moral of the story. All right. Thank you, though. Derek from Elekahia says overzealousness can lead to depression if the system you are being so overzealous for doesn't give a damn about you. Ha 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 ha. That's another one. So that's why it's not good, right? So you should check and see what the boundaries are and stay within the boundaries. Overzealousness. Are you also being overzealous because you want the system to notice you? Or you're being overzealous because at that point in time, that's what is required to get the job done, whether you are noticed or not noticed. All right, we have commercials right now, and I'll be right back, and I'll take your calls. Do stay tuned. It's the sunny side.